So good morning and once again welcome you all to our day 2 of ATAL sponsored online FDP program. Once again I would like to welcome you all and I would also like to welcome our today's speaker Captain Nitin Joshi sir. So welcome to our program. So before moving ahead I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our today's speaker. Captain Nitin Joshi, sir, is a behavior transformation coach, a leadership development partner, motivator, and an author. He has more than 20 years of work experience and varied work areas like the Indian Army, education, and hospitality sectors. In all these workplaces, training has been an integral part of his work. He realized that, irrespective of the work area, there are few basics of training which remain the same everywhere. He also realized that training is his passion. In 2016, he decided to turn his passion into his profession in the form of his training venture, Wisdom Mind. Communication skills including verbal, non-verbal, and body language, public speaking, business communication, office etiquette, presentation skills, emotional intelligence, grooming, leadership, and many more are just some of the areas in which he has conducted training in both corporates and colleges. Sir has a hands-on style of training that involves participation of the audience and activities. He also likes to use storytelling to make his training more interesting. Sir's strengths which make him a good trainer are his ability to connect with people from a wide range of background and his ability to grasp any topic fast. He believes in tailor-making and delivering each training session as per the client's specification and a continuous feedback process. Sir is a good orator and a public speaker and used to anchor all the programs in his college days. Sir is also holding educational qualifications and certifications in Diploma in Hotel Management from RISB College, Mumbai, postgraduate in Defense and Strategic Studies from Pune University, NLP practitioner certified by American Board of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, certified trainer in emotional intelligence from Learners Conclave, and certified basic career counselor from Mentoria. Sir has also published 2 books. So with such a vast achievements and rewards, sir, I would like to welcome you. Sir, please address our audience with your golden words. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for this opportunity. First of all, this is my second session that I'm conducting with your college, and it's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity again. And I would like to thank the management of SIRT, especially Mr. Sanjeev Agrawal, the CMD, Dr. Prasad Jain, the Vice Chairperson, Mrs. Shivani Agrawal, Executive Director, Dr. Goswami, and of course, Surbi ma'am for giving me this opportunity. So today I'll be talking about emotional intelligence and its relation to work-related stress and occupational, commitment, and the various other aspects like job satisfaction. Some of you may have attended my session on emotional intelligence, which was, I think, exactly 1 year back. I think it was 21st or 22nd September last year. So again, it's quite good to be back on the same day. So in today's session, I will be talking to you in 2 halves. Firstly, we will take a look at what exactly is meant by emotional intelligence. And then I will talk about the relation of emotional intelligence to job satisfaction or job related stress and the various other related aspects, so that, with a better understanding of emotional intelligence, we can assimilate the two together. I would request all the participants to, be absolutely free and, please share your inputs and ask your questions. There is, this is not like mathematics, where 1 + 1 has to be 2. This is a topic where every answer can be correct and every answer has some different aspects. So I would request all of you to please, be forthcoming. So before I start with my presentation, I would like all the participants, I would like to ask all the participants, we are talking about emotional intelligence. What exactly do you mean by emotions? We are human beings. We are all emotional beings. So what exactly do you mean by emotional or emotions? If I may start with that question. Anyone?
I guess the feelings that we feel, either when we are happy or sad or
Okay,
angry.
okay, okay, uh, okay. Feelings that we have when we are happy or sad or angry, or something that is supernatural. Okay, something that is supernatural emotions based on happiness, sadness, and so on. So yes, all of your answers are correct. Okay, uh, you can even say emotions are a set of chemical reactions, that happen in our brain whenever we feel something. It is always associated with a set of chemical reactions and chemicals that but there is always something behind it. I say the physical manifestation is just what we see. What actually happens is something that is deep down inside our minds, and emotions affect all our life, every aspect of our life. Okay, it is not that because we are talking about emotions and its relation to job satisfaction or occupation, so it doesn't mean that emotions that happen in the workplace don't affect our personal life or vice versa. Okay, it's just one person in different places. So we cannot say that when I'm walking into my home, I'm going to keep the office emotions outside, or when I'm walking into the office, I'm going to keep the home emotions outside. And that's why it is very important that we take a completely holistic view of this, and we take a holistic look at our lives. So with that, I will just share my screen with you. Yes, I hope you all can see my screen now. I'm sharing my PPT. Ma'am, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay, okay, wonderful, wonderful. So yes, I asked you what exactly are emotions. Now, there are a lot of emotions. Okay, as I said, we human beings are, emotional beings, and we talk a lot about emotions, and we feel emotions every day. But the question is, when we talk specifically about emotional intelligence, how many of us make an attempt to really pinpoint and understand our emotions? And that is what emotional intelligence is all about. Okay, when we say that I am stressed out at work, when we say that something is really giving me problems, or when we say something like those, we are just referring to our emotions. How many of us have ever tried to really pinpoint exactly what is the emotion that we feel? How many of us have really tried? The problem is not the stress itself, or the problem is not the feeling or the fatigue itself. The problem is because we are in that state of mind, we don't really try to go at the root cause of these emotions. We don't try to understand what exactly is the basic emotion that we are feeling, and that is why we get overwhelmed by the situation. Now I know it is easier said than done. Okay, when you are in the throes of passion, or when you're completely overwhelmed by the emotion, being analytical is not so easy. But we can always do it later on, or we can always, if you are feeling some kind of an emotion very frequently, okay, if you're feeling stressed out, or if you're feeling angry very frequently, then it is important that you try to pinpoint what exactly your emotions are, or why do you feel those emotions. So uh, there are certain basic emotions. Okay, like there is anger, there is disgust. Okay, anger and disgust are two different emotions. Okay, anger is when you are very outraged at something. Disgust is when we feel very very repulsed, or a revulsion by something. Then there is contempt. Okay, contempt is again different from anger. You can be not angry at a person and still hold that person in your contempt. Okay, then there is shame. Okay, there is sorrow, there is joy, there is interest, there is surprise, and there is fear. Okay, these are the basic emotions. Any other emotion or any other feeling that we have as human beings are derived from these emotions. And the whole idea of emotional intelligence, the whole when we talk about emotional intelligence, the whole idea of emotional intelligence is to come and pinpoint your exact emotions down to one of these basic emotions. That what exactly am I feeling? Once you start doing that, you will be in a much better position to deal with your emotions. Okay, going ahead, when we start talking about job satisfaction or occupational stress or work related stress, I will tell you that how exactly can you do that. You need to come down and understand where exactly your emotions are coming from. Okay, if you see this matrix, you will realize that all the other emotions that we feel or all the other feelings that we have are a derivative of these basic emotions. Okay, just to give you an example, as you can see on the screen in front of you, embarrassment, humiliation, guilt, and remorse, they all come from shame, because you're ashamed of something. That is what leads to embarrassment. That is what leads to humiliation and guilt. Or take fear. So fright, anxiety, terror, worry, all these things come from fear, because deep down there is fear. Similarly, anger gives rise to envy. Okay, so once you're able to pinpoint your exact emotion, you will be able to deal with it in a much better way. The problem is not the situation itself, and the problem is not the stress caused by the situation. The problem is when we allow that situation, or when we allow that stress to overwhelm us. Okay, that is when the problem happens. And this problem happens because we do not pinpoint exactly what it is, and so we don't know how to deal with it. Okay, that's how it is. We don't know how to deal with it. It is something like, if you go to a doctor, and if you tell the doctor, doctor, I'm not feeling well. Now, not feeling well is a very generalized kind of a feeling. The doctor will ask you a lot of questions. When you're not feeling well, what exactly is happening? Are you feeling feverish? Do you have temperature? Are you feeling giddy? Do you have a pain in some part of the body? Or are you not able to sleep? Have you lost your appetite? Why? Because the doctor wants to, pinpoint and find out exactly what the reason for your not feeling well is. Okay, and that's exactly what applies also to emotions. When you say that you're emotional, when you say that you're stressed, stress is a fallout of a lot of these emotions that we are not able to pinpoint and deal with. So going ahead, uh, emotional intelligence. Now, I believe that you are having a session on emotional intelligence, and today is your second day. If any one of you can please share with me what exactly you mean by emotional intelligence, or what is your understanding. If I ask you what is your simplest possible definition of emotional intelligence, how would you define emotional intelligence? Anyone? Yes, anyone? How will you define?
Mm, Dealing with our emotions in a positive way.
Okay. Yes, dealing with your emotions in a positive way, but before you deal with your emotions, there is something else that you have to do.
I guess self-awareness. You should
Awareness.
know what you are feeling actually.
Yes, to know what you're feeling actually. And exactly, thank you very much. That's the correct answer. First step is to know what you're feeling, and next step is to deal with it. Okay, so first you know what exactly you're feeling, and then you deal with it. So the problem starts because most of us don't know what we are feeling, and that's why I have showed you these basic emotions, and all the other emotions are derivatives of these basic emotions, and that is what we need to do. So anyone who observes or feels that on a regular basis I feel stressed out, or I feel angry, or I feel bad in a certain situation, or in presence of a certain person, or when I have to do a certain kind of work, the first thing you need to do is please try and pinpoint what is the emotion that you associate with that feeling bad. Okay, we generally analyze the emotions about when we are feeling good. Okay, when you really like to go to a place, we say, yes, this place makes me happy, or the company of this person makes me happy, or I enjoy doing this work, so this work makes me happy. Okay, we rarely do it for when we feel bad, because we don't want to think about it. All right, so it is like a kind of an illness that you have. When you go to a doctor, you get the treatment, it might feel uncomfortable, but then you end up feeling good. So that is exactly how you have to deal with all these feelings of discomfort and bad feeling. You have to acknowledge them, you have to deal with them, but first you have to pinpoint them. So that is what emotions. So what are emotions? Some of you have answered very correctly that yes, emotions are the feelings that we associate. Okay, uh, or a set of chemical reactions that happen in our mind, and so on and so forth. How many emotions can you name? Now we have seen some basic emotions, and we have seen what are the derivatives of those emotions. I'm sure all of us must have felt at least some of these emotions at some point of time or the other. But there must be some emotions other than that that we can all name. And can you name all the emotions that you felt in the last 24 hours? How many of you can really pinpoint and name that, yes, in the last 24 hours, these are the emotions that I have gone through? We all go through a set of emotions, but how many of us can really pinpoint and say that, yes, I am aware of what emotions I have felt in the last 24 hours? Okay. How many of us can do that? Let's see. Let's see. We'll do a small activity, or we will do a series of small activities, okay, for just to help you recognize what how to pinpoint the emotions. Okay.
Sir, happiness.
Okay. Happiness, definitely. And
Sir, satisfaction.
happiness, satisfaction, okay. And
Sadness.
happiness, satisfaction, sadness, okay.
This is anger.
Anger, I think that is the most prevalent emotions amongst us human beings.
Yes.
We love getting angry, there are many people who find reasons to be angry. Okay. Anyway, that's a different aspect of it altogether. But yes, happiness, sorrow, anger. All right. Laziness. Okay. Laziness, I think, do you think laziness is an emotion, or it's more of a, kind of, it's a habit? I mean, you know, laziness, or again, where do you think laziness comes from? Laziness comes from not liking to do something. You might be feeling very lazy. You might be feeling that I don't want to, but somebody says, come, let's go and watch your favorite movie. You will be ready in 2 minutes. Or you might be feeling very lazy to do a certain work, but if somebody comes and says, "Hey, come, let's uh, let me take you out for a treat, let me take you out for a party," you will get up and get ready in 2 minutes. So that's not actually laziness. Laziness comes from not liking or hating some kind of work. Okay, so again, you can take it back to one of the basic emotions, right? So again, the first activity that we are going to do, okay, just take 2 minutes and write down what are the emotions that you felt in the last 24 hours and why. Okay. On the left, you see that I have written down some emotions: anger, happiness, fear. This is just an example. This is just for an example. So just write down why. What is the percentage of time in the last 24 hours that you felt this particular emotion? So you can write down, for example, anger, happiness, fear, or whatever percentage of the time, and why. The why part, you can leave it blank at the moment, but you can just write down the percentage of times. Okay, so just write this down. Everything that you're going to write down today is for your own consumption. I will not ask you to share it with anyone. It is for your own understanding. So write down and be very honest with yourself. Okay. We said that emotional intelligence consists of acknowledging your emotions, and to acknowledge your emotions, it is very, very important for you to be honest with yourself. So be honest and write down. 2 minutes, I think 2 minutes should be enough, or you need more time? Yes, will
So
2 minutes?
enough. It's almost done.
2 minutes is enough. Okay. So take 2 minutes and write down and keep it. See, you may not get it correct in the first attempt, because not many of us really like to study our own emotions. Okay, so you may or may not get it correct in the first attempt. That's okay, but at least you're making an attempt. So yes, 2 minutes. I have put my timer for 2 minutes. Please take 2 minutes and write down.
So it's done.
Oh, it's done. Wonderful, wonderful. How about the others?
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, great, great, wonderful, wonderful. So now that you have written down your emotions, what I would urge you to do is that whenever you are in an emotionally charged situation, okay, or whenever you feel, as I said some time back, that there is a certain situation or a certain place or a certain kind of work that always makes you feel very bad or feel stressed. Later on, when you are out of that situation, please try and do an analysis of what is exactly is the basic emotion that you feel. As I said, laziness comes more out of your dislike for something, because you don't want to do a particular kind of work, you feel lazy. But at that moment, if you're given an option of something that you like, you don't feel so lazy at all. So it is important to get down to the root cause of what exactly is making you feel that emotion. Okay, so that is now, what are the triggers? Now, there is always a trigger to all our emotions. Okay, whenever we feel certain kind of emotion, there is always something that triggers it. Okay, like to give you an example, if you listen to a particular music, you go back, you get nostalgic. You go back to the times when you heard that music for the first time, or if you smell a particular kind of a perfume, you remember the person with whom you associate that perfume with. So that is these are the triggers. So once you have identified your emotion, the next thing that you need to do, the why part over here, is to identify the trigger. Okay, when you feel that you feel stressed at a particular place, or you feel stressed while doing a particular work, again, it's a very broad-based kind of a thing that I feel stressed. What stresses you? Is there a particular person whose presence stresses you out? Is there a particular kind of work that stresses you out? Is there a particular time of the day when you're stressed out? Is there, some topic that brings back bad memories and stresses you? These are these are triggers. Now, as I said, the problem is not the stress itself. The problem is not the problem itself. The problem is because we allow it to overwhelm us. Because we haven't identified the emotion, we haven't identified the stress, or rather the trigger. So once you are done identifying the emotion, next step would be to identify the trigger. Now, please don't expect instant gratification. If we have not been doing this on a regular basis, it will take time. It is not like necessarily that you feel you have one setting and you are able to identify and pinpoint everything. No, sometimes the trigger can be a person whom we least expect to be a trigger. Sometimes the person triggering the stress or the negative emotion in us can turn out to be a person whom we most trust or whom we find to be the most positive person. Okay, so that's why I said it's very important to be honest with yourself while doing these kind of these kind of things. Yes, Subhi ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I would like to announce that we are having Professor G.D. Yadav, sir, respected Professor G.D. Yadav, sir, on the behalf of ATAL AICTE. Sir is ex-VC ICT Mumbai. Sir, I would like to welcome you, sir. Please, sir, if you grace us with some words. Yes, Professor, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Jain. I have to visit many sites to find out what is happening. So this is a very interesting topic which you have chosen for faculty development. I heard the speaker, very interesting, because most of the time, if the faculty member is not emotionally stable, he can do a lot of damage to the student community. He has to be a mentor all the time. He has to understand the problems of the student and, yes, I'm sorry. And then carry on with the lecture. So it's very interesting, I'm sure. So as I said, please send me the program details
Yes.
the choice of speakers, how many participants are there, how many are professors, associate professors, assistant professors,
Sure.
and from where they are coming. That is what is important for me to know, because AICT may ask me to comment on this programming in future. So and obviously you can't expect me to attend lectures because there are 9 or 10 institutions where I'm supposed to go and see what they are doing.
Yeah.
So I wish you all the best.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for I interrupting your program, but then I can't help it.
No, no,
Okay.
that's completely fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining with us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Carry on. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, Captain, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am. And Professor Yadav, sir, thank you very much for your input. As you rightfully said that if the faculty member is not emotionally stable, it can actually cause a lot of damage to the students, and very rightfully so. And why only a faculty member? Any person who is not emotionally stable can cause a lot of damage to people around. So that's why it is, although today we are talking specifically in terms of job satisfaction and occupation, but whatever we see today can be equally applicable in all walks of life. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, so these are the triggers. Okay, these are the triggers, and once you are done identifying the emotion, it is very important for you to identify the trigger. Now, one question when I was myself learning emotional intelligence, the one question that came to my mind was that emotions are so strong, and whenever you start thinking about them or whenever you start analyzing them, you tend to again get overwhelmed by the same emotions. So is it really easy for us to analyze them objectively, like doing an analysis of a problem? Let's be honest, it is not easy. It is not easy, but it is not impossible either. It's all a question of habit. It's all a question of habit. As I said, if you are feeling very emotional in a situation, or if you feel that you're very stressed in a certain kind of situation, or while doing a certain kind of work, or in a certain place, or in the presence of a certain person, then not necessarily at that time itself or in that situation itself, but always at a later stage, you can maybe take help of a trusted friend, someone who's very close to you, or in extreme cases, you can even take professional help. There's nothing wrong in that. But it's very important for you to get to the root of your stress or your extreme emotions, and that is the only way you will be able to deal with it. It is as simple as that. Okay, if I have to give you an example from my experience in the army, so when you are conducting an operation in a village, you have to pinpoint exactly which house the militant is hiding in. Okay, otherwise you will be just firing right, left, and center, and causing a lot of collateral damage without actually hitting the bad guy. So you have to first pinpoint where exactly that person is, and then hit that house, with precision. That's exactly what you have to do. Okay, so that negative emotion is like that, that bad guy hiding in one corner of your mind. You have to pinpoint where exactly it is, and then hit that area. Otherwise, you'll spill your anger or your negativity everywhere. So yes, it is possible. Again, I'll not give you any false hopes. It is not easy, but you have to practice it. It is like taking a bitter medicine or a bitter pill on a regular basis. So what is emotional intelligence? The ability to understand and manage our own emotions, and then to recognize and understand the emotions of others. It starts with yourself. Emotional intelligence starts with yourself. If you are able to understand your own emotions, then you will be able to understand the emotions of the others. Okay, so don't try to first we need to sort ourselves out, and then we'll be able to empathize with others. Okay, the people who are really able to understand others are those people who have understood themselves at first. Okay, that is how it always is, right? So first start with yourself. Okay, start with your own emotions, understand how your emotions impact others around you, and then move on to understanding others and the emotions of others. Okay, so this is what it is. I got a message from someone saying share your screen. I am sharing my screen. Is my screen visible
Yes,
to
sir,
everyone?
your screen is completely visible. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So yes, so this is what emotional intelligence is about. Starts first with awareness, then with management, and first with the awareness of self. Okay, so first you become aware of yourself, then you control yourself and you manage yourself. Okay, and then others. Right, this is how it generally works. As I was saying, we all know many people around us who are very, very mature and who are very good at handling situations. They come across as people who never get angry or never get sad. Well, they are human beings and they feel all these emotions as much as we do. It is only that they have become so good at controlling their own emotions, they will never have an angry outburst in front of everyone, or they will never display their sorrow to everyone. Okay. Uh, and that is why they are able to control others, because they have learned to control themselves. दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करें. That's a very famous song that we have heard. So this is what it's all about. Okay, before controlling others, we need to control ourselves. Okay, so we start with acknowledging our emotions, and in our society, even today, it is considered to be a sign of weakness to display your emotions, especially for men. Be a man. So in other words, don't display your emotions. Well, maybe yes, don't display your emotions all the time, but be aware of them. Okay, there's nothing wrong in being aware of them. Whether to display them or not is again depending on the situation. You will have to be discreet, but being aware is something that we all can do. Another very interesting aspect is emotions are also a very good source of information. When you analyze your emotions, you get a lot of information from them. Now, what kind of information? Okay, basically information about yourself. We never look at emotions as a source of information. Okay, just to give you an example, if you are feeling, if you feel very good while doing a certain kind of work, and if you start analyzing, why do I feel good while doing this work? Oh, because I like it, because I'm good at it, because this is something that resonates with my nature. When you think about it, when you analyze it, you might realize that this is something that I would like to specialize in, or this is something which I would like to do. If you go back to the history, you might find that yes, I have been consistently doing good in this kind of work. Okay, if you analyze the emotions of other person and the other person feels very stressed in a certain kind of situation or in presence of a certain kind of people. Okay, if you really try to analyze the cause of that emotion, you might realize that yes, this person has had some kind of a very negative experience in the past with a person or with certain kind of people. This is what I mean by emotions are a source of information. Okay, that's how you look at it. So emotions are not just a set of feelings that we have. Emotions are manifestation of certain events, and that event is your information. So this is what you need to do. While when I say analyze your emotions about something, and it so happens. Let me tell you from my personal experience and experience of people whom I know, that experiences that you've had in a very small childhood, even during your school days, can manifest themselves very late in life. Okay, so if you are if you are somebody in your 30s or 40s and you're suddenly experiencing some kind of emotions, then you need to really think about it and go back. It might be something that you experienced in your school days. Okay, something that you experienced as a very small child that is manifesting itself now. So anyway, that itself is a very big subject, which we can maybe talk about at some other time. But the idea is emotions are a good source of information. Okay, so again, I think this is something which we have all mainly understood by now. What is the importance of emotional intelligence? To understand the significance of communicating effectively with others. We tend to treat all with emotionally intelligent people. They do all these things. Okay, they treat others with respect. They communicate effectively. Okay, so whatever feelings you have, whatever bottled up things you have in your mind, if you're emotionally intelligent, you will communicate these things effectively to others. Okay, you empathize with others. We will talk a little bit about empathy as we go ahead. I just saw a message from one of the participants that we can be empathetic towards others. Yes, we will be talking a little bit about empathy as we go ahead. Okay, benefits of high emotional intelligence, of course, effective communication, effective listening. Okay, successful in managing difficult situations, making others feel comfortable. Okay, I told you about people whom we know who are very, very good at managing their own emotions. Okay, so these people, you feel comfortable in their presence, you feel like talking to them. Especially if you are in a kind of a profession where you are either a mentor or a guide to someone, it is very important that your subordinates or your students should be able to come and talk to you, and they should be comfortable sharing their ideas and concerns with you. That is also a mark of a good leader. A good leader can be very, very strict when required. But when required, that leader can also be a father figure or a mother figure, where all the other people can come and, share their ideas comfortably with them. So this is the benefits of high emotional intelligence. Okay. Remain optimistic and have a positive attitude. Okay. Being empathetic and compassionate towards others. You remain calm and handle pressure effectively. As I said, people who are very empathetic, or people who are very, calm and quiet, or yogis or such people, it is not that they don't feel emotions. They feel the emotions as much as we do, but they just know how to handle them effectively. So that is what, being human being is like feeling emotions. Okay, you cannot be a human being and not feel emotions, but it is just that emotionally intelligent people know how to handle them and not get overwhelmed by them effectively. Okay, being positive, open to positive and negative feedback, right? So again, if you do some kind of a program and somebody comes and praises you, you feel very good, but somebody points out some drawback, you feel angry. So that is not a very intelligent way of handling it. Okay, motivating themselves and the others around. Okay, again, drawbacks of low AI, exact opposites of what high emotional intelligence is all about. Okay, you get into arguments, you do not understand how others feel, you think that other people are overly sensitive. Okay, very often, in a situation when somebody is getting angry, we say to gussa kyun ho raha hai. Now wo gussa ho raha hai to ho raha hai, that person is angry, it is something that person is feeling very angry about. We may not feel so much about that topic, but this person does feel like that. That's why he is getting angry. So that is not a place to ask him, why are you getting angry? Okay, that is a place just to understand that this topic is making this person angry, and right now let's allow this person to cool down. Later on, we can ask why you are angry or why did you get angry, and look at the whole situation from that person's perspective. Then we will understand why the person got angry. Okay. You experience certain emotional outbursts. Yes, that is what happens when a person is very emotionally, unintelligent, I can say. The person experiences certain emotional outbursts. Okay. You lack empathy. Typical kind of leaders who hurt others, and if you find that there is any leader whose team is not very stable, people are quitting, and there is a very high turnover rate in that person's team, you can easily conclude that this leader lacks empathy towards you know so let's do a small activity now. uh, I said that it's very important for you to name your emotions. Okay, so let's do a small activity. Okay, what I will do is I hope you all have your notebooks and pens with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrate a small you know I'm going to narrate a small story to you, and I would like all of you to just imagine yourself in that story. Okay, and I would like you to pinpoint and write down the emotions that you feel. Okay, can we start? Is everyone ready with your writing material? Are we all ready? Can we start? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I would like you to just first of all, please sit relaxed. Just sit in a relaxed way. Please, I would request all of you to please close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Okay, and put on your imagination caps. Because you have to imagine yourself in that situation. Okay. And now please listen to me. Okay, you can keep your eyes closed and listen to me. If that helps you to imagine, you can keep your eyes open and listen to me. If that is what helps you to imagine, the whole idea is now imagine. Okay, and listen to me very carefully when I narrate this. Okay, imagine you have just woken up. You had a very good night's sleep. As you open your eyes, you see the sun that has come up bright outside. So you curl in your bed and you feel like staying there for a minute longer before you start your day. and suddenly your mobile phone rings and you're startled. The loud noise has really woken you up and it has made you alert. You get up, you pick up the phone, and it's a call from your boss. The boss tells you there is an urgent meeting with the CEO today at 11 o'clock on the status of our project. I am out of town and you have to take the CEO through the status. So please reach the office early and finish the PPT before you meet the CEO. And you look at the watch, right? It's already 8 o'clock. It'll take me at least 40 minutes to reach the office. And that is what you think. And you have butterflies in your stomach already. So you rush through the process of getting ready, you skip your breakfast, you get into your car by 8:30, and several thoughts are crossing your mind. Why the hell does my boss have to, schedule a review like this today? Why couldn't my boss have informed me last night? What happened? What happens if I'm not able to finish the PPT in time? So you start your car and you get into a mad traffic jam. And the traffic today seems unusually thick. So to avoid waiting at the next crossing, you take a shortcut. You get into a narrow lane crisscrossing the parallel, to the main road. First turn, you're happy. The traffic seems to be moving freely. As soon as you take the first right turn, you see there is an auto rickshaw standing just in the middle of the road. The lane is so narrow that you can't go ahead. You feel nervous as you are sure to lose some time here, but then suddenly the auto rickshaw driver comes smiling, gets into the auto and drives away. You heave a sigh of relief. But the real trouble is waiting for you ahead. On the next turn, you see a big truck in front of a house. Somebody has decided to vacate the house today and their belongings are being loaded onto the truck. And you know that this time you're stuck. You can't take a U-turn because there are vehicles behind you. And the truck doesn't move for 10 minutes. The 10 minutes, it is just standing there. The stuff is being loaded. Okay. You think about the presentation and your encounter with the CEO. And with each passing minute, your tension increases. You're feeling hot, you turn on the AC. Eventually, the truck starts moving at a slow speed and you follow it till you reach the main road. By now, the anxiety of the presentation is all over in your mind. Okay. You're angry at the truck driver. You press the accelerator and start on the road ahead, which is decently empty. As you accelerate, there is a biker in front of you who is driving at a very slow speed. God knows why. Okay. You get very angry, so you honk your horn a couple of times. The driver gets offended. The biker gets offended. And he decides that he's not going to let you ahead. So he drives very slowly and continues in front of your car, driving his bike very slowly. You keep trying to change your lane, but that biker just won't let you, he's just there in front of you. And for a few kilometers, for a good 5-6 kilometers, the driver just does that. And finally, he shows you, he makes an offensive gesture with his middle finger and speeds away. And you realize that you wasted 15 minutes behind that biker. And it's already 9:40 and there is very little time. You reach the office somehow with shaking and fumbling hands. You start your laptop, you open the PowerPoint, which have just, little bit of time left before you reach the CEO's cabin. You put the data together, you make some kind of a presentation. It's a very shabby presentation, but you somehow put something together. Remember, you haven't had your breakfast. And you know that CEO is going to hate the presentation. You reach the office, the CEO's office. The secretary smiles at you and asks you to wait. So you clench your fists and you're sitting there outside the office, nervously. You're not prepared to answer any difficult questions because you've had no time to prepare. No? Your boss was supposed to make the presentation and last minute it's fallen on your head. Okay. After 5 minutes, the CEO comes out of the cabin, looks at you and says, I know you're waiting here for me to show me the presentation, but I'm sorry, it seems like we'll not be able to do this today. I have to go for an urgent meeting, which is going to take up my entire day. So let's talk tomorrow. And seeing that, the boss goes away. The CEO goes away. Okay. Now, If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes. Okay, you can open your eyes, and now you have been through this scenario. You have been through this scenario. Now tell me. I want you to tell me what were the emotions, when you wake up in the morning. What is the predominant emotion at that time?
Happiness.
Happiness. Yes. Don't just say feeling good. Happiness. Okay. When you are given the news that you have to reach early for preparing the review, what is the predominant emotion?
Irritated.
Rather than irritated, can you call it fear and anger?
Fear,
A lot
sir.
of fear, anger. Yes.
Yes. Why I'm asking you is because let's talk about the basic emotions. Fear and anger. Okay. In the morning you can say that you are feeling good, but it's more of happiness.
True.
Okay. When you're stuck behind the truck,
Disgusting.
when you're stuck behind the truck, or when you're stuck.
Disgusting.
Sorry.
Fear.
Disgusting, sir.
Disgusting. Fear.
Anxious, very anxious, just to
Anxious,
hurry
anxiety.
to reach.
Yes, and all this comes from fear.
Fear.
The base is fear. Okay. Fear of what will happen to me now. Okay. Then when the biker teases you before speeding off.
Angry.
Mm.
Feel like hitting that person hard.
Yes, you want to actually take your car and drive over that person, right? Okay. You don't do that because the jail clothes are not very fashionable, but yes, that is what you feel like doing at that time, right? So anger, a lot of anger. Okay. When you are waiting for the CEO, when you are waiting outside the CEO's office,
Again, fear is there.
fear, anxiety.
Anxiety, a lot of anxiety
Fear.
would be there.
A lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And when the CEO tells you about his inability to meet you, what do you feel?
Horrible.
Happiness.
Happiness. Happiness, relief.
There is happiness that
A
yes,
sense of relief.
there is relief, but there is also anger.
Exactly. Then, oh my God, all this happened just
Yeah,
because of this
yeah.
thing, and ultimately,
Yeah, I did so
we
many
couldn't.
things. And now it's not even happening.
So there is relief, there is happiness, but there is also anger. Why did I have to, run through all this trouble, and in the end
Exactly.
there is no presentation happening.
Yeah, I
Okay,
had such a beautiful morning and now it's all spoiled.
my beautiful morning and my plans to laze around a little bit are all spoiled, and no presentation also. Okay, it is now not exactly the same, but all of us must have had a similar kind of experience. When we had to abandon our plans and rush for work or do some kind of a work. Okay, and after that, after a situation like this, after a hectic, unexpected kind of a work day, if it is planned, if you know it is going to be hectic, you're prepared. But when surprises are thrown at you and you don't know what exactly to do, and at the end of it, when you're sitting there feeling emotional or feeling drained out, that time you need to understand what is the emotion I'm feeling and why am I feeling it. Once you understand, and please try this, once you understand what exactly your emotion is and what is the cause for that emotion, believe me, half of it disappears there itself. Half of it, half of your anger, half of your frustration will disappear there itself. And when you start actually dealing with it, the other half can be taken care of. So that's why the purpose of making you do this exercise is the next time you're having this kind of a day, or the next time you're going through this kind of a stressful, experience, please try and understand, please try and pinpoint what exactly, name the emotion. When I say be aware of your emotion, basically means name the emotion. Okay, and that is what we did just now. Sorry. So having a stressful day, identify your emotion basically means name your emotion. So now we come to emotional intelligence and its relation with the work-related stress, occupation, and the professional aspects of our life. Okay. So what do we mean by stress? Okay, we have just seen, we have just seen an imaginary scenario where a person goes through stress.
Stress is a mixture of fear and anger, I guess.
Stress is a
I
mixture
think a
of
very uncomfortable state where different emotions are experienced. Always negative ones.
Okay, all the negative ones. Thank you very much for saying that, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go ahead. So thank you very much when you say that, all the negative emotions at the same time. That is stress. You know, so stress is when the problem goes beyond a person's ability to handle it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. When a problem goes beyond a person's ability to handle it, we all say that certain amount of stress is good. Being 100% stress free is also not very good, because then we become complacent. So stress is when uh, the problem goes beyond their ability to handle it, or if I say, when a person thinks that the problem is bigger than their ability to handle it. Either the problem has already gone beyond your capacity, or you think in your mind that no, this is not in my capacity to handle it. That is stress. Am I correct? You are free
Yes,
to
sir.
disagree.
Yes, sir.
You are free to disagree.
I
Okay?
guess the later statement is more appropriate.
More appropriate, yes. When a person thinks that no, this problem has gone beyond my ability to handle it. Why do we think that the problem has gone beyond my ability to handle it? Because we haven't really analyzed the problem, we haven't analyzed the root cause, and the moment you think something is beyond your ability to handle it, we stop trying to solve it. And then the stress piles on. And again, I'm sure all of us must have had this experience that some problem or some task looks Herculean, but when you actually start doing it, you realize, अरे इतना सा काम था, ये तो हो गया 10 मिनट में, है ना? Or it is difficult, but not so difficult as I was imagining it. So that is the cause of stress. Okay, or as you rightfully said, that a mixture of all negative emotions. Okay, so stress can be caused by financial reasons. Okay, it can be caused by personal reasons. It can be caused by health related reasons. It can be caused by environment. It can be caused by work related reasons. Okay, again, various reasons, but these reasons mostly come under one of these heads, one of these categories. So the whole idea again of telling you these things, when I talk about basic emotions, or when I say identify your emotions, or now we are talking about the causes of stress, the whole idea is, please pinpoint the problem and then you start solving it. The reason why we are not able to solve a problem is because we are not able to pinpoint it. कि मेरा प्रॉब्लम फाइनेंशियल है, लेकिन फाइनेंशियल क्यों है? तो हेल्थ रिलेटेड है. आई एम स्पेंडिंग टू मच मनी ऑन माय ट्रीटमेंट, सो टेक अ हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस. Okay, my problem is environmental. Why? Because the place where I stay, there is so much noise around, there is so much pollution, traffic congestion every day. Going to work and coming back home is a stress. So what? Maybe shift to some other place, or something on the similar lines. That's the whole thing. Okay, so workplace stress can be caused by, typically, by inability to cope with work, right? A lot of work environment. Okay, work environment consists of a lot of things. The people around you, the physical environment in which you're working, everything from how which part
Expectations of your bosses.
Expectations of your bosses. Yes, that's a a universal constant. Wherever you
True.
go.
All those people, those who are working, I think this is one level of stress.
That
They
definitely
often,
is. That definitely is.
yeah.
Definitely is. And
Absolutely.
in all fairness, to be fair to the bosses, most often the boss also has a boss above them
True.
who is
Yes.
facing the same thing. So, and
It's a cycle.
it's a cycle. It's a
Everybody
cycle.
has
It's
it.
a cycle.
Everybody has someone to answer to,
Yes.
and they pass on the stress.
And a part of being a good leader at any level is to know that, okay, I have a certain amount of pressure coming on me from the top. How much pressure should I pass on down below, and
Exactly.
in what way? Again, if you are getting a lot of pressure from above, and you obviously need to get some of the work done by the people in your team, you cannot evenly say, okay, there are 10 people, so pressure divided by 10, and I'm going to put that pressure onto these 10 people. No, even within those 10 people, there is some who is more experienced, some who is less experienced. So you need to have that discretion also. Okay. And again, when there is an emergency, or when there is some, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, आग लग गई. So that is what happens. The pressure from the top comes and it just goes down like a ramrod. Boom. So, and that is what happens. So yes, clashes with colleagues, again, uh, several reasons for this. Clashes with seniors, or as you said expectations from the bosses. Okay, sudden change in working conditions. So yes, change is something that we humans are not very happy about most of the time. We humans, we resist change because it is something to do with the way we humans are wired. With respect to our work. So that I'll talk a little bit about that when we go ahead. Okay, it can be caused due to poor professional prospects when a person feels that I don't have very good professional future in this profession or maybe in this organization. So what do I do now? Things are okay, but down the line, what do I have in store for me? Dissatisfaction with the package, yes. Financial issue, it's something that many people are affected by. Maybe sexual harassment at workplace, if anyone is facing this kind of a thing. And unfortunately, in our society, even today, we do a lot of victim blaming. If somebody is unfortunate enough to face this kind of harassment, people tend to blame the victim, which is very unfortunate. So many victims are not able to speak out. So selecting the wrong profession, okay. Well, a different independent topic in itself. We'll talk about it and many more. Okay, so these are typical workplace stressors. It is also caused by problems occurring in personal life. So that's why I said that instead of compartmentalizing our life, and there is the work-life balance is a lot of is a very popular term, but it's not such a practical way of dealing with things. It is like saying that you're a different person when you go to work, and you're a different person at your in your personal domain, which is not the case. It's the same person. Okay, so obviously a stress in one area of life will affect your other area of life also. So you can't live a compartmentalized life. So the concept of work-life balance is quite outdated now. Focus should be on a balanced life. Okay, the focus should be on leading a balanced life. Now, a little bit about the workplace stress, and I'm telling you this from my experience when I have been working in jobs and when I interact with a lot of professionals from companies where I train. A lot of workplace stress is caused due to, amongst the other factors that I mentioned above. Amongst the other factors, a lot of workplace stress is caused due to poor management of time and poor management of work. Okay, so once you manage those properly, your workplace stress can be handled. I'm not saying it will disappear. Stress to a certain extent is always going to be there, but it happens because of poor management of time. Okay, staying till late in the office every day or going to office even on a Sunday is not a sign of efficiency. Okay, coming to office on time and leaving on time, finishing your work, that is when you're really efficient. Okay, so that is what a balanced life is all about. Okay, so effects of workplace stress, obviously loss of self-esteem. Okay, why loss of self-esteem? Because profession is a very important part of our life, and when stress happens over there, we invest so much into our profession in terms of time and energy and emotions, that when it is a stress over there and you start getting a feeling that my professional life will not go very well, it is like losing a part of yourself. So it causes you to lose self-esteem. Our profession gives us an identity. Okay, our profession or our work that we do, it gives us not only a livelihood, but it gives us a purpose. It gives us our identity. It gives us a very important part of who we are. And whenever there is a stress at the workplace, and whenever we fear that things might not go well for me professionally, it is almost as if my very identity is threatened. So that's why I said a balanced life. A balanced life. Okay, of course, reduced performance. Okay, so workplace stress, you're not very happy with the work, you're not happy with the environment and the colleagues, and things are not going well, so it is going to impact your performance, no doubt about it. Okay, job dissatisfaction, right? Clashes with your higher ups, clashes with your juniors, clashes with people at the same level as you, clashes even at home, right? Effects on health, but obvious, and a spillover into personal life. Okay, so now again ask yourself, I would again ask you to please take your notebook and pen and write down. And again, as I said, this is purely for your own consumption. I will not ask you to share it with me, and you don't have to share it with anyone. This is for everyone. Okay. What is the emotion that you most experience when you are stressed in workplace? This is for everyone to write down for oneself. So write down. Okay. Please take your notebook and pen and please write this down. What is the emotion that you most experience when you are stressed in your workplace? Okay, please write them down. As I said, when we are happy, when we are feeling positive, and when things are good, we obviously, are able to, I said, identify the emotions, that yes, I'm happy, I'm joyful. So write them down. What are the emotions you most experience? How many times have you tried to recognize them? How many times have you recognized them, and how many times do we try to recognize them? So this is where your issue really lies. As I said in the beginning, if you're feeling very stressed in a certain kind of work or in a certain situation or in the presence of certain person, you need to pinpoint the emotions, and then you will be able to deal with them much better. Okay. So yes, I said I've covered this. I said profession is an important part of our life. Okay. It gives us our livelihood, it gives us a social status, it gives us a sense of accomplishment and an identity, right? Even today, when we meet a person for the first time, among the first things that we ask him is, what do you do? Ab kya karte ho? Right? And yes, in the society and the world that we live in, professional identity is one of the first identities that we recognize a person with, or anything. दोस्ती करनी है, रिश्ता करना है, anything that we have to do, or even just make a casual acquaintance, the first thing, among the first thing that we ask is, what does this person do? So it's a very important part of our status. It's a very important part of our identity. It's a very important part of our, whole persona and personality that we perceive. Okay. So it is very important. And I said, that's why a stress in the workplace is very bad, because we have identified and invested our entire sense of self and our identity into the work. Okay. So it causes you to doubt the self-image, our very self-image, it goes down the drain. Okay. It's like a loss of identity in one's own eyes. Okay. A major blow to a person's self-confidence. Yes, it happens, even, and there doesn't have to be something very drastic, even when we are going through a low phase in our life, or in our workplace, there are good times, there are bad times everywhere. We always have a bad day at the office. Okay. It's never going to be 100% hunky-dory. There is always a bad day at the office for everyone. So just try to see how you feel at the end of the day. There will be slight variations or shades of this, your self-image or your self-confidence or your self-esteem, sense of identity is somewhere getting shaken. Okay. And there is an emotional turmoil. So build a balanced self-image. Please understand this thing. There is always going to be stress at work in varying degrees. It is very important that you build a balanced self-image. Let's understand one thing. I cannot make your work life stress disappear. Nobody can do that. If there is work, there is going to be stress. Plain and simple. There are going to be good times, there are going to be bad times. But if you invest a lot into your, and I'm not at all suggesting that don't be sincere with your work or don't invest in your professional life. It is very important that we do that. Okay. Because we are getting so much from our profession, it is equally important and morally binding that we give back to our institution or to whatever place we work in. Okay, that is understand. But the whole idea is, if you limit your entire identity only with your workplace and your professional image, anything that happens there, you will instantly find yourself in a mess. So don't let just one aspect of your life define you. Okay. You are much more than your profession. Yeah, you are a person, you're an independent person, you're a parent, you're a child, you're a friend, an artist, a sibling. When I say artist, I mean everybody practices some or the other hobby, right? You don't have to be an artist, but whatever hobby you do, that you're an artist in your own right. Okay, and you're so many other things. You're an independent human being in yourself. So give equal amount of time to all aspects of your life. Okay, do complete justice to your work, no doubt about that. Do when you're in your workplace or working from home, you're going to be the most sincere and the professional person around. But once you're finished your work, give an equal amount of time to other aspects of your life. Okay, pursue a hobby. If you're not following a hobby, please start following your hobby. Start giving time to your own hobby. Everybody has a hobby, and please don't make excuses that I don't find time. Everybody finds time. It is just that you should be you're willing to give it. Okay, when you are with your family or your friends, please give them your complete time. Slowly, when you start doing this, you'll realize that your sense of self or your self identity is not only confined to one aspect of your life. Your sense of identity or your sense of self is very big, consists of so many things. So if there is a turmoil in one area of your life, it is not going to overwhelm you, or it is not going to cause you to start doubting yourself or doubt your own self image. Okay, then you can handle it much better. Okay, if I had a very good conversation once during one of my earliest times, during one of my first jobs, when I was working very long back, more than 20 years back. So I had a very good conversation with my boss, and he asked me, what is the meaning of punctuality? I said, coming to office on time. He said, is it only coming to office on time, or is it also going back home on time? That is punctuality. And I thought about it, and I said, yes. So he explained to me, he said, listen, coming to office on time definitely is punctuality. But when you also go back on time, it means first you have finished your work on time, and secondly, you're giving equal attention to yourself. Okay. And that is something that has stuck with me since then. It's a very interesting thing that I said. Of course, in every work, there are days when you have to put in extra time. There is always, some event or some function or something happening where you have to, spend maybe a lot of time in the office. You have to go to the office on weekdays or holidays. That happens, but it should not become a regular feature with you. It should not happen that you're trying to use your work or your workplace as an escape from the other parts of your life. Okay, that is what causes, and then it is something like your work or your workplace is like a escape for you, and when there is a turmoil over there, you don't know where to go. So build a balanced life, so that leads to a balanced self-image. Okay, you as a human being, as a person, cannot be defined by your work alone. There is a lot more to you than that. So seriously look at how you're devoting time to all the aspects of your life, and please balance it. Okay, that is what will really cause you to yes, I actually believed in this and have implemented. Yes, that's a great thing. So and a lot more. If you have not been doing this till now, please start doing it. Okay, start with a check of how much time you're devoting to yourself, how much time you're devoting to your family and your friends, and how much me time you have. Me time is not time with your family and friends. Me time is me time, your time. You with yourself. That's it. Okay, and start working on that. I would love to talk to you in detail on that, but that's not our topic for today, really. But yes. So we come to how are we wired now. Okay, so I hope we are all clear till now, so I can move ahead. I hope it's all clear till now. Any questions or anything, anyone? I'll request you to please keep it reserved for.
Yes, Miss Asha, you want to say something? Asha, madam? I think by mistakenly you got unmuted.
Okay, that's okay. Yes, sir. And
No,
I think
I was saying, yes, sir, it's clear. I wanted to just say that. So I unmuted. It's clear, sir. Absolutely clear.
yes, ma'am. In fact, Asha ma'am,
Yes, thank you.
Asha ma'am has just now posted a message saying that she believes in this and she practices it. So that's really great, ma'am. And if everyone else can
Yes, sir.
understand,
I believe in it.
if-
And I used to be the first one who used to go out there, like when I was working, The moment the time was over, then people would say, you're in a hurry to go. Why you finish your work so fast? I said, when I reach on time, I believe that I should leave on time because that's also punctuality. So I have been practicing it
Exactly, ma'am.
as
Thank
much
you.
as possible. Thank you, sir.
Exactly. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So yes. So coming next to how we human beings are wired, how we human beings function. We human beings are wired first and foremost for survival. Then we are wired to belong, and then we are wired to become our best self. Okay, this is Maslow's hierarchy. I'm sure all of you must have heard and read about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, at the very base is the most basic needs, the most basic of our requirements is for survival, to feel safe, to feel secure. Okay, then once we are safe and we are secure, then we are wired to belong. Then we want to belong, to a certain group, to a certain family, to a certain profession, again, as I said, for our identity. And once these are taken care of, then we become our best self, right? So now in relation to our profession, now in relation to everything that we have seen till now, okay, emotions and emotional intelligence and basic emotions, and then when we talk about profession or work related stress, how is this important? Okay, how are we wired? Okay, so we are all wired for survival. So whenever we feel a negative emotion, okay, by negative emotion, I mean fear, I mean anger, I mean, stress or any kind or any of their derivatives, somewhere or the other, our sense of survival is threatened. It doesn't have to be physical survival. It can be professional survival. It can be financial survival. We feel some or the other kind of danger, okay, either to our physical self or to our professional self, okay. And once you are, once you have a sense of fear, or once your own survival is at stake, then obviously you cannot think of work, or you cannot think of doing your work as a leader. If you think about it, if there is any member of the team who is acting strange or not giving their best performance, or amongst other reasons, one of the reasons can be that their sense of self or their sense of survival is threatened somewhere, either physical survival or professional survival. Okay, so we are all wired as human beings. We are wired first and foremost for survival. We need to survive, we need to be strong and secure. Then we need to belong. So your survival is taken care of, your physical safety is taken care of, your professional safety is taken care of, your financial safety is in no danger. But nobody talks to you, or nobody wants you in their group, you're alone. Then obviously you feel bad, that why are people not talking to me, or why don't people take me in their group, or why don't people, why don't I belong to some group? Okay, when that happens, when both these things are taken care of, you finally belong to a group, and you finally, you have a group or a circle with whom you can chat, you can talk. That is when you give your best self. Okay, again, relating this to our workplace, relating this to our profession, right? So after you have done your analysis about, I feel stressed while doing a certain kind of work, I feel bad in the presence of certain person, or the work pressure is too much, or my boss is unreasonable, and so on and so forth. Then see where exactly this threat is. Are you feeling threat? Do you think your survival is somehow at stake? Survival, let me reiterate, doesn't necessarily have to be your physical survival as such. It can be, that my professional prospects may get damaged, or it may hurt me financially, or there is somewhere that the survival is threatened. What exactly is that? And then ask yourself, is it real? Am I only creating a fear in my mind, or is it real? That puts you in a better position to deal with it. Okay, then wiring to belong. Am I belonging here? Do I belong to this group, or do I feel welcome in this particular group? Do I feel a sense of belonging over here? When all this happens, then you will be able to give your best self. So to put it crisply and shortly, if you feel that your feeling of stress in the workplace is coming from a certain trigger, then what exactly is the survival that is threatened? Is there a sense of belonging that is not happening? And that is preventing me from giving my best self. Similarly, as a leader, if you feel that someone in your team or someone down the chain is not doing their best or not performing to their optimum level, then ask yourself, is this person feeling threatened? Is some kind of a survival threatened? Is this person feeling a threat to their professional survival? Is the person feeling threatened to their financial survival? Or is the person not feeling a sense of belonging over here? Okay, have I not created an inclusive enough atmosphere in my workplace? Take care of these things and the person will start performing the best. Okay, in most of the cases, this is what you need to take care of. So that is why, this is how we human beings are wired, literally wired, because that is the kind of neural connections that happen in our brains, so that's why we say wired. So yes, I spoke about a balanced life. There is a very interesting story, that I read somewhere recently, that and this story was given by the CEO of Google, Mr. Sundar Pichai. And now Sundar Pichai or anyone else in that same position, CEO of Google or CEO of Facebook, or people like Bill Gates, people who are at the pinnacle of professional success, you would imagine that these people must be devoting all their time only to their work. And these must be the typical late nighter kind of people, who would spend 24 hours in the office and even go to the office on Sundays. But the interesting part is that that is exactly the opposite. These are the people who spend exactly the amount of time in the office that needs to be spent, and they make it a point to go and give back time to themselves and to their family equally. And Sundar Pichai has given a very beautiful analogy. He said that if you imagine that your life is about juggling 5 balls, okay, these are your work, family, health, pleasure, finance, or yourself, right? These are the 5 balls that you're juggling. So in that, please keep in mind that your okay, let me tell. Right. So the 5 balls are work, family, health, friends, and your soul, right? So these are the 5 balls that you're juggling. So he said that the ball that is your work is a rubber ball. If it falls, it will always bounce back up, right? But the other balls that you're juggling, namely your family, health, friends, and your soul, they are made of glass. If you drop any one of them, they are going to break. This is to say that work is, it's an organization, it's an office, it's a company, it's a big place. Okay. So if one person doesn't work, or if one person leaves and goes away, there is always going to be someone else. That organization or the work will not be affected in the long run. But when you talk about your family, your health, your friends, and yourself, your own soul, you're the only one who's there. Okay, if you drop it, it is going to shatter, it is going to break. Again, not to say that please don't give importance to your work. By all means, give importance to your work. You should, but have your priorities very clearly cut out. A balanced life. Okay, the more balanced life you live, the better you will be able to do at your work. Okay, that is the example I gave you of either Sundar Pichai or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. People whom you would expect, or even what Asha ma'am has posted, that she believes in this, that not only coming to work on time but going back on time, finishing your work on time and leaving the office on time. That is what you need to do. Once you start doing this, you will realize that it is not the quantity but the quality of time that you spend anywhere, and you are able to do much better at your work. Okay, so efficient management of work, managing your time efficiently, being sincere, and giving time to the family. Take care of your health. If you are able to do all this, you will realize that you are actually doing a much better job. Efficiency does not mean spending long times in the office. The more time you devote to your life, the better you will be perform at your work. Okay, so again, why I'm telling you this, the reason behind telling you this is that if you feel that there is a certain amount of stress in the workplace, okay, and I'm spending so much time in the workplace, I'm spending so much time, still my work is not getting done. Apart from your management of time and your work, ask yourself, am I giving enough time to myself? Because your family, your home, your friend circle, your hobbies, these are like your firm base. You go back to these places to get recharged. You go back to these places, to your family, to your friends, to get energized. You go back there to be yourself as a person. And the more energy you get there, the better energy you can put into your work. So ask yourself, am I devoting enough time there? If not, then you need to start doing that, because that is where you will get energized. That is where you will get, free of your stress and your tensions and all your pressures. And then you come back and give your best at your work. A balanced life. Okay. So am I leading a balanced enough life? Is my life balanced? If no, then please start doing it from today itself. Okay. Start balancing your life, start managing your life, and you will see that you will be much better at your work. Okay. One very good way of managing your workplace stress. Now, this might come as a surprise to some of you, but one very good way of managing your stress at workplace is to fix your personal life. Is to fix. Okay, a very good way of managing your stress at the workplace is to fix your life outside the office, and you see how your workplace performance goes up. Okay, balance is the key. Everywhere in life, anywhere and everywhere in life, balance is always the key. So, coming to the importance of work environment, work environment, as the name suggests, is the environment in our workplace. A typical, the feel of the workplace. How does my workplace feel to me? Okay, or what emotions do I associate with my work and my workplace? How do I feel on a Monday morning? How do I feel at a weekend? Okay, that is your work environment. That sums up your work environment. Okay, so we spend a major part of our life in our workplace. Okay, at least 8 hours a day, maybe more. At least 5 days a week. Again, maybe more. Okay, we meet some good friends over there. Okay, so people whom we meet as colleagues, they may go on to become good friends. Okay, sometimes it is like a family. Many workplaces, they actually are like a family, where they are all there for each other. They look out for each other, and they stand up for each other. Okay, so it's everyone's responsibility to create a work environment. Okay, so if you feel that the work environment in my office is very good, then congratulations, you are doing a good job, because you also have contributed to it. If you feel that it needs fixing, then please start with yourself. What kind of work environment would you like to have? Okay, so how will you describe your work environment in simplest possible terms? Again, something that you need to write down for yourself. Okay, if I ask you, how will you describe your work environment in simplest possible terms? Okay, so write the 3 things that you like the most and 3 things that you dislike the most. Okay, and what are your emotions associated with those things? Okay, take 2 minutes and write it down. Again, for your own consumption. Don't have to share it with anyone. This is for everyone's own, knowledge and consumption. Please write it down. How will you describe your work environment in the simplest possible terms? What are the 3 things that you like the most about your work environment? What are the 3 things that you don't like? And what are the emotions that you associate with them? Again, pinpointing likes and dislikes is very easy. The more important stuff is pinpoint the emotions that you associate with those things. What are the things? What exactly are the emotions that you associate with those things that you like and you dislike? Done?
Done, sir.
Okay, perfect. So yes. So how do you feel while going to the office? Okay, what exactly is your feel while going to the office? And what is your biggest contribution to the work environment? Okay. So again, questions that you need to answer to yourself. Okay. how do you feel while going to the office? What is the biggest contribution to the work environment? Okay. Most importantly, have you recognized the triggers associated with your emotions? Okay, again, I come down to the same thing. Have you recognized okay? This is what you need to ask yourself. When I say that, learn to deal with the emotions, these are the steps that you need to take. Okay. I told you about how we are wired. Okay. So is there a sense of belonging in what you do? Okay. You remember how we are wired. Is there appreciation? Okay. And do you resonate with the organization? Now, again, let me reiterate, everything that you answer over here is for yourself and holds equally true for your colleagues and your team if you are in a leadership position, right? So first, answer these questions about yourself, and then answer these questions about the people around you. Okay. Does this person have a sense of belonging to the organization? Does this person feel appreciated? As a leader, am I appreciating this person? If this person is, well, not giving his or her optimum, what is the reason? Is any one of these the reason? Okay. Again, you can quickly note down what emotions do you associate with the following. What emotions do you associate with the following? We may not have done this exercise before. So as I said, it's not going to be, easy, or it's not going to be like you'll be able to do it in one go. But if you can start doing the whole thing, okay. Now, coming back to our topic, emotional intelligence and its reason or its association with organization commitment and job stress and job satisfaction. So what exactly does it mean, or how does it translate into your practical application? So recognize what are the emotions that you associate with the thing, and what is the trigger of the emotion, and then how you deal with it. Okay, the whole idea of doing emotional intelligence with respect to professional life is to recognize, identify, and deal with the emotions. Okay, first recognize that there are emotions and why are the emotions there, and to deal with the emotion. That is exactly how the key is. Okay, so in the end, last but not the least, the last section, if I talk about emotional intelligence and leadership, because leadership is an important aspect of your work life. Okay, we all have leaders above us and we all have a team working below us. Okay, so this is what leadership, and leader plays an important role in an organization. Okay, as a leader, you create the work environment, and I spoke about empathy. So empathy, when you say empathy, extend empathy. Don't extend empathy only to the people below you. Please extend empathy also to your leader. Okay, as one of, as we had the talk about, pressure from the boss. So yes, pressure from the boss, and as a leader, you would like to extend empathy to the people below you in the leadership or in the seniority rung, but please also extend some no problem. So create safety and inclusion. One of the most important things that you can do as a leader is to create a safe environment. And again, ask this to yourself, that do I have this in my work environment? Safety, physical safety, job safety, and psychological safety. Uh, Coming back to what I said, things about how we are wired, or it's Maslow everywhere: safety, purpose, belonging, and peak performance. So do I have all these things in my workplace? Okay, or does my workplace provide me with these kind of things? So that is what it is about. I spoke about change. So in the end, I will just say human beings resist change. One of the reasons why we feel stressed at the workplace is because there is change. Sudden change in the work environment causes a lot of stress to us. So whenever such a thing is happening, or whenever you as a leader are initiating a sudden change in the work environment, please understand that your team down below might be feeling tad bit insecure because of it. Please, instead of forcing change on them, which will never work, try to address their concerns, assure them that the change is not going to affect them in any way. The change is not going to affect them professionally or personally. Their safety is not affected, professional or personal safety. It is being taken care of. It is being thought of, and that is when the people will be more open to that change. When you suddenly try to impose a change on anyone, maybe for the best of the reasons or best of the intentions, the change will be met with resistance. And that is why a lot of these new initiatives fail, because a lot of time the people down below who are directly affected by the change have not been taken into confidence. So that is one thing that you need to address as a leader, especially if you're making change in any area, any area of work. And in the end, as an inspirational leader, we all have heard and spoken about sharing passion and sharing vision. So it is very important that as a leader we walk the talk, so to say, and lead by example. So that is that is my presentation as far as it is concerned, because so I am done. So any questions?
Sir, excuse me, sir. The
Yes.
basically due to some network issues, you are the host now. So, sir, can you please give me the host rights?
Sure. Yeah, just a minute. Just a minute. Yes, it's done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, participant, if you are having any query, actually the lecture was really very informative, interactive, and fully activity based. So I think it might be participant is not having any doubt, but if you want to share your views, your experience regarding all these three things, so you are most welcome. Participant, you can also write in the chat box, or if you want to share something, please unmute yourself.
So thanks a lot, sir. This is the first time that after having a session like this, I'm actually questioning myself and analyzing myself, and I want to work on myself. There are many things which I need to change, and thanks a lot, sir, for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Any other participant?
Well, we see the important thing is, try to practice some of the things that we spoke about today. And Subhi ma'am is always there in touch with me. So if any one of you needs any kind of a further guidance, or, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be most happy to, further guide you with everything that I just said.
Definitely.
Just one question, sir. Sorry for interruption. Thank you, Nitin sir, for a great session. Really appreciate it, sir, because you made it with the interactive course where we won't get bored, because all of the time we are in front of system, we get bored. But when you do interactive session, I would suggest our convener to have such sessions, other topics as well, because that would make us impress and interactive more, and we can learn a lot. Else will be just listening session would happens. That would not be
exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir, for your feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the feedback.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, before ending the session, I just want to say big thanks to you, sir. Just I'm saying that from till 10 o'clock, sorry, 11:30, you are continuously speaking, but your session was really very energetic. And some of the key points I just want to highlight from your lecture, that you have talked about basic emotions. Sometimes we don't know what are various emotions we feel in daily life. You also done so many activities, that what are the emotions we feel in last 24 hours and why. So that why answer, you also told us that why we feel such emotions, and so many activities. Actually, the activity is very attractive, and that makes our participant a more interactive one. So you beautifully correlate our topic, emotional intelligence, with all the three subheads, that is occupational stress, job satisfaction, and organization commitment. So this is really very wonderful session, sir. On the behalf of entire Sage Group, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you, sir. Sir, thank you so much once again. And participant, I will share the mail ID and contact details in WhatsApp group. If you have any query or you want to share something, you can contact to sir also. So I will share your ID, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. And participant, please find the feedback link of today's session in the chat box. It has been displayed in your chat box. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.